Did I say that right? And the pageant is in 17 days, so y'all pray for her as she gets ready for all that. And I'm going to welcome Miss Kelli Collins.
Thank you so much for having me. I have my phone up here to keep my time because if not, I would never leave because I would talk the whole time. It would probably be good for me because then I wouldn't have to go back to work. So I'm sorry, just talk to them all day, couldn't help it. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. Okay, well first of all, like she said, my name is Kelli Collins. I am 19. I just turned 19 on Sunday, so that's pretty exciting. I was leaving Disney World on my birthday, so that was pretty fun. I'm from Dardanelle. I graduated in 2015 and started in the fall at UCA, and I already feel like Conway is my home. I'm so excited to actually get to move to Conway, to hopefully one day start my dental practice in Conway, because I just love this area so much. I came from a very small town where I graduated with 100 people, very tiny. And for someone like me to do pageants, it was kind of weird because so many kids, you know, they lived just the sports and the farm life, and then they were like, wait, you do pageants? That's kind of weird. So it's been interesting for me to do this for so long. I started competing when I was 6 years old, and I have continued to compete until now. And I'll continue to compete until I'm 24, unless I was to win Miss Arkansas beforehand, which I would not be upset about. That would be great. I don't know if many of you know about the Miss America organization, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway, so you can pretend to be excited if you already know. Well, first of all, it's the largest scholarship provider for women in the world, and that is something that a lot of people don't see. They think that a lot of us are just the beauty pageant, normal, you know, but we're not. And it's so cool to see how many girls have gotten their college completely paid for. I am one of those girls. Although I work 2 jobs and I'm very involved on campus and I have a lot going on, I still make time for this organization because if it weren't for them, there's no way I could afford to go to college. Definitely not UCA because they're expensive. So I definitely would not be able to do that. And I wouldn't have the plans to continue on to dental school and then to specialize as a pediatric dentist and then to open my own practice where all of this money will be going. So it's been a blessing in itself just to be a part of the organization for that reason. But it has also made me determined, and it's given me responsibilities, and it's gotten me involved in so many organizations and given me the platform to do exactly what I'm doing now, which is to share my story with all of you. So one thing that's really cool is that we all have our own, what we call a platform, but basically it's our community service projects, and I'm involved with Make-A-Wish. So I have been involved with Make-A-Wish since I was in the 8th grade, and that's just been mostly fundraising. Now I'm involved as a wish granter and an office angel, and what I get to do is actually grant wishes. Just a couple weeks ago at Conway Corp, we actually granted a wish for a kid named Keegan. He was 13 years old and he is now in Atlantis, and it's really exciting. He had no idea. He thought he was coming with his family to pay a bill at Conway Corp, and we all surprised him with his favorite food, all these presents for him to be able to go to Atlantis. And it wouldn't have been possible if it weren't for Conway Corp because they paid the money for his trip, and so that's pretty cool. But I get to go in and meet with these kids for the very first time. Some of them have never had a normal life. Some of them have spent their entire lives in hospitals getting treatments, being prodded by needles, not ever have gotten to go to school, and we get to grant their wish. I've granted 4 Disney World wishes, 2 Atlantis wishes, and a trip to go to, it's called, my mind just went blank. It's basically like a weightlifting competition, and it's in Las Vegas, and he'll get to go when he's actually 21, so that'll be a lot of fun for him. He'll get to gamble a little too, so that'll be pretty cool. We only grant wishes from ages 2.5 to 18, but if they are 18, they have up to 3 years, depending on their situation, if they can travel or not, to be able to go. And so he'll get to go when he's 21. They have to have a life-threatening illness, and this is something that a lot of people don't know as well about Make-A-Wish. It is not just someone who is terminal. A lot of our kids end up making it, and a lot of kids who were terminal after a wish has been granted has gotten a renewed strength, and they are able to live the rest of their lives, but have had the opportunity to do something they've always wanted to do. And I just think that that in itself is just so awesome, and I'm just blessed to be a part of it. Another part of the Miss America organization is just the phases of competition itself. Like she said, I'll start competing in 17 days. That is really soon, and I don't know if I'm quite ready yet, but I'm getting there for sure. And I'll do arrival the very first day, and basically I'll just wear like a cute, fun outfit and show up and say, I'm here, and let everyone take pictures of me, and that's really it. You're not actually judged on that part. It's more for the public and to get more attention. A lot of people have come to Miss Arkansas for years. It's always held in Hot Springs, and it is so cool to see how many ties have been pulled just from people bringing their children for the first time, and every year they continue to give back. And then I'll compete in interview, and so basically they can throw anything at me from current events to my platform to just about me. They can ask me what type of flower I'd want to be or what's my favorite color, and then they can go all the way up to, well, who are you going to vote for the presidency? And you have to be well knowledge and know exactly what you're talking about. Because they've studied and they know their stuff, and they will call you out on it. I've been called out on it before. I just tried to sound smart in an interview because I had no idea what the question was about. And normally I just kind of pretend like I know what I'm doing, and if you talk smart, people think you know what you're doing, right? So I was just like, yeah, I know all about that, and this is how I feel about this. And went on, and she goes, wait, do you know that's not even the country that I was talking about? I was like, yeah, I knew that. I was just trying to see if you knew what you were talking about. And so it can be quite embarrassing if you don't know what you're doing. So I have to keep on both sides, know each side of the issue, be able to argue both ways about things I do believe in and things I don't believe in, and have to still do it tastefully because, not everybody agrees with what I agree with. So it is very interesting to have spent so many interviews. They're each 10 minutes long. And if you've ever been in front of 5 people who you cannot ask a question to, you cannot say anything back besides answer the question and they ask another, it's a little intimidating. But it's because of doing this and being able to be out in the community that helps me in that way. I might stumble a little bit in here and I might get a little tongue-tied, but that's okay. But that just helps me to be able to realize what I'm doing wrong and to be able to better myself. Hopefully for the job of Miss Arkansas. So that would be really neat if I could come back and talk to you guys again as Miss Arkansas. That'd be really neat. My dad would love that, in fact, since we spent so many years preparing. Then I'll compete in swimsuit, and for all of you that saw me eat the strawberry cake, I'm going to go with, it was my serving of fruit today. I just told Lisa that I'm terrible at eating healthy. I really am. Like, I love salad and I love fish, but I love fried chicken. And I just don't eat that healthy. It's bad, I know. But I can't make myself do it. I love food. So walking in a 2-piece bikini in front of thousands of people, and it's broadcasted online, so you don't even know how many people are watching there, is quite intimidating. But the part that gets me the most is I know my dad is watching. I know he's out there, and that's the only thing that messes me up in swimsuit, is because I know my daddy is watching me. And I am Dad's little princess, and I'm not gonna lie, I know I'm spoiled, and I know that I'm always gonna have him wrapped around this little finger, and my dad is watching me walk in a bikini, and that is scary. So I've been working with a trainer in Little Rock, so it's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of hard work. And she actually told me yesterday, yeah, keep doing what you're doing because you're looking really good. And I thought, well, the whole week in Disney World, I ate French fries and desserts, so I guess that's what I need to keep doing because I look good, right? I was like, yeah, okay, I can definitely do that one. So strawberry cake, check. Yeah, okay. Then we do evening gown, which that's just fun. Actually, the dress I'm wearing right there is what I'll be wearing at Miss Arkansas. You can't see like a full body. But I wore it at my prelim, and it's a custom Tony Bowles, so I'm pretty excited about that. I have 2 princes. I have a prince and a princess, and basically it's a mentoring program. I actually started out as a princess. That's how I got into this organization. I was 7 years old, and I was just one of the cute little girls that walked out in my white dress, and I did what I was supposed to do and left. And after all of these years, I've never stopped. I've not missed one outstanding teen pageant, not one Miss Arkansas. I've been there every year. And so it's been so cool to have grown up in this system and to have known these people for so many years. I guess now it's going to be 12 years. I think I'm getting old, guys. If I can start counting decades, I'm going to have to stop. I told my mom, I was like, I'm almost 20. I don't know what I'm going to do. I was like, it's over the hill from here, guys, and I'm just not ready for that one. And I'm going to be there too fast. So the ages that I used to think was old, I'm like, that is not old. Definitely not old anymore. When I was little, I definitely thought it was, but no. 20's not that old, right? No. So then I'll do on-stage question, and that's a little intimidating as well, but it's actually really fun for me. I stand in front of the entire audience, and they ask me this random question that comes out of a glass bowl, and some girls get, what's your favorite color? But I never get that question. I always get the very hard questions, like, how would you solve world hunger? Well, I would make a lot of fried chicken and give it to the world. I don't know. So I always get those kinds of questions, and it's really fun for me because I'm not the kind of girl that prepares for questions like, okay, this is what you're going to say. I say something different every time, and my mom, it's the worst part for her because she is so scared that I'm going to say something terrible. And in fact, the prelim I won at Miss Greater Jacksonville, they asked me, can a woman have both a career and a family? And so I opened my mouth and I said, of course she can. I said, my mom makes my dad do the laundry and do the dishes all the time, so I know they can do both. And my mom was mortified. She was like, Kelly, like, yes, we can have both, but that is not what you should have said. But hey, I was like, yeah, she keeps my dad in line. She cracks the whip, you know, on stage in front of everybody because I just kind of blurt out what I say, right? So that was really interesting in itself. Let's hope that I don't get that question at Miss Arkansas because that's probably what I'll say again. And then from there, I just get to do my talent. I sing. I'll be singing The Impossible Dream from Mano La Mancha. And I picked this song because I think that everybody has that thing they always wanted to do. Like, man, I know this is what I did in life, but I really wish that I would have done this. Or that's just, I can't, you know, it's too hard. I can't do that. And there are so many years that I told myself, oh, it'd be great to be Miss Arkansas, and I'm going to compete to be Miss Arkansas, but, I mean, isn't that a little big? You know, I'm just from small town Darnell, Arkansas. Isn't that just too big for me? But through this song and watching the musical and just, I guess, living the meaning, I've realized that nothing is too big. You can reach anything. You can do whatever you want to do. And that's what the song means to me. And I wish I would have had my track. I didn't even think about bringing it to sing for you guys, or I would have totally done that. I have it on my phone, but I don't think it would play too well, so sorry, I didn't think about that. But it's going to be so interesting, so fun. You guys can watch. It's actually online streaming at missarkansas.org. So you can watch for me. There's actually a poll open on Miss Arkansas right now that could win me $1,000 scholarships that you guys can vote. So remember me, you could go vote for me. That would be pretty awesome to help towards my college education, of course. And so that's kind of about me and what I do. I just kind of live the little homegrown life. Like I said, I work 2 jobs. I work here in Conway at French Lily, and actually on Saturday, if you have any little girls or grandchildren or whoever that would like, we are doing a fundraiser for Children's Hospital, and I'll be all glamorous and made up, and I'll be signing autographs, and the store's offering 25% off to all of you, and she's giving all of the proceeds to Children's Hospital. So that's on Saturday from 10 to 3. And I'm really excited to be able to do that. I love meeting little kids. That's why I want to be a pediatric dentist. I work with children all the time. And they just have a huge place in my heart. So if you guys want to bring your kiddos, I'll be there. I love meeting them. And then some other things that I'm doing before Miss Arkansas. I'm hosting a painting class. I'm not very artistic, but thank goodness I have some people who are. Also to raise money for Children's Hospital, since that's one of my biggest, it's our national platform for Miss Arkansas and Miss America. So we all raise money for Children's Hospital. And then other than that, I'm just getting ready, going to lessons all day long and trying to balance that and my 2 jobs. I also work in Russellville at Noto Chiropractic Health Center. I'm a interferential and ultrasound therapist, and I also do office duties. So one day, when I'm looking for a job, I'm going to hit up my fellow Rotarians. Hello! I totally got the skills, right? But yeah, that's kind of me. And I'm just so thankful that you guys had me. If you have any questions, you want to throw some interview questions at me, I got you.
With your involvement in Make-A-Wish,
Yes.
give us one example of a phone, if you don't give us one example of one time that it really touched your heart, something that really affected you.
That would have to be, there was a little girl who was 3 years old. She lives in Russellville. And a lot of these families, when they're having to pay for medical bills and, it's all piling up, they don't have a whole lot. It's kind of touch and go. They don't really always have a place that they can stay because when you're in and out of the hospital, it's kind of hard to be able to live at home but to not live at home, if that makes any sense. And so we did a home visit with this little girl, and what we do, we bring a present to them when we first get there, because with most kids, they're pretty shy at first. There are some that are very outgoing and have no problem, but there's some that are pretty shy, and she happened to be this way, so we always bring what we call an icebreaker. And we spend about $30, $40 on them, and we found out, what she kind of liked beforehand, and we brought her, she liked Elsa, so we brought her like a huge Elsa Barbie doll that sang, and we also bought her a little Elsa costume, so she could wear it around the house and everything. And her dream and her wish is to go to Disney World. And actually, I just got an email confirmation earlier today that they will be happening in August. But just seeing her light up when she opened that gift, because that's not something she gets all of the time, and to know that she's going to get her wish granted, and she's going to go to Disney World and meet Elsa and meet Cinderella and all the things that she talks about, that's something that really hit home for me. Because although I have lived through my dad losing his job at one point, and I know how hard that can be, I guess I never think about it with little kids. And I know that some of them have such hard home lives. And just to be able to go into her house and be able to bring a smile to her face, even if it's for one day, and know that in a couple of weeks she's going to get to spend the most magical time in the most magical place with her family, and forget about all the doctors, forget about the chemo, forget about all of that. That's something that really resonates with me, and that's why I keep giving back to the organization. Any other questions? You want to fire some questions at me? Yes, sir?
If you were to vote for a write-in candidate for president,
If I was to vote for a who?
who would you write in for president?
Oh, man. I'm not 35, so I can't say myself, because I think I can rule the country pretty well. I've got it all in the bag. Collins for president. I don't know exactly what year I'll be 35, but whenever that is, I'll just run the next year. No, I don't know. If I had to write someone in, listen guys, I know it sounds bad, but I was totally for Marco Rubio for a long time, okay? I was like, oh yeah, he's so cool. Mostly my dad said this because he came to UCA and he's the only one that I actually saw spoke, and he was like, so you just jumped on the bandwagon? But even if I did, I thought he was pretty cool, so I might write him in. I thought he had some good principles, probably because he's the only one that taught, they get you so fired up. They talk about everything you want to hear, and they're like, and you students need this, and we're like, yeah! So I think that's probably what I would do at this moment. I don't know. We'll see how it pans out in November. It might be interesting. A lot to happen between now and then. Yes, sir?
You're from Dardanelle. How did you found this Jacksonville?
Good question. Okay, so the Miss America organization is a little crazy in how they do their districting, so to say. Some pageants are open. There's 42 prelims, and some are open. I can compete in 12 prelims that are open to the entire state of Arkansas. I can drive 6 hours and compete and represent their area. Some are not open, and they're close to certain counties. So I've lived in Conway now for a year, and because I've lived there for more than 6 months and has been enrolled for more than 12 hours, through Faulkner County, I was eligible to compete in Jacksonville. So it's because I live here and can represent this area. Hopefully we'll be, Miss Conway, Miss UCA sometime pretty soon, but it depends on where you live normally. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am?
I just want to say, I told Rick, I leaned over and told him, I said, we have to remind ourselves that you're 19 years old.
I am 19.
Yes, you seem like you're 30 years old, and what
Thank you.
know and how you present yourself and how you talk to people and you're really a stranger.
always tell people that I just never really feel 19, I guess, so to say. The Make-A-Wish Foundation, you have to be 18 to be a volunteer and to be able to grant wishes. And I was talking to the coordinator, and I was like, why? Why can't we have 16-year-olds? Had I gotten the opportunity, I would have started way earlier. And she said, well, most 16-year-olds aren't as mature as you are. And I was like, oh, sometimes I do forget because I feel like everyone should be held to the highest standard. I mean, I was upset because I got a 3.7 my last semester in college, and I forget sometimes that people are like that, but that's a huge compliment to me. But mostly to me, I feel like that's a huge compliment to my parents because that's just the way I've always been raised. I've always been a yes ma'am, no ma'am, make sure you follow the rules, you get your homework done, and I think because of that, that's the reason why I make sure everything is planned, every T is crossed, every I is dotted, so thank you, that's a big compliment. And I think I'm going to turn it over now. Y'all guys are finished with me.
So just like you have a platform, our club adopts a project every year. And our project this year is the Newspapers and Education Program through the Log Cabin Democrat. And so we'll be donating 50 newspapers in your honor
Thank you.
that teachers will use in classrooms.
That's so awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.